Thomas! It's up for grabs now!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by pierre-emerick.
Champions.
I see Lee up in there. Evening, welcome to the Arsenal Lounge. Sorry about the delay. Lee was telling us a story about being a celeb and what it's like. We're just not used to these things. So sorry for keeping you waiting, but all good things come to those who wait. So without any further ado, firstly, my Dadash. That's what it is, a Dadash, yeah, brother, in Iranian. Dadash from another mother. Shaheen, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm good. You, everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. And below me, I got my bald Dadash. Bald Dadash, you see that? I didn't even mean that. Bald Dadash. Bald Dadash from another mother. My main man, Lee. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, Liv. All good. Like I see, Shanine's growing his hair. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, like
You guys jealous?
yeah, I think
jealousy going on.
uncalled for. I think really like. What do you reckon, Uncle?
Mate, I'm glad he's growing it back. He looked ridiculous with that hat on. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I think I look like. Do I look like Lee now? Like, you know what I mean?
There we go. Peak
Like
Lee
Peaky Blinder.
Yeah, Peak Lee Blinders. Yeah.
Let's give it some love. Let's get the accent right.
Mate, we've got to try and keep him grounded, Shaheen. He's losing it. Over there.
Listen, I've just told you guys, surreal today, absolutely surreal, like, you know what I mean? But there you go.
Yeah, Lee's rubbing shoulders with. He's trying to rub shoulders. The guy's about 6'5", I'm guessing, but with international rugby celebs who are messaging him, telling him how big of fans they are of his. Get that, of his. Yeah, so,
unbelievable, isn't it?
International,
not just down the road.
Yeah.
International rugby.
Internationally known, locally respected. That's what it is. There you go. Lee judges.
Plays at Twickenham and it's just a breeze. You know what I mean? Like,
mate, all day long. But a big hello to everyone in the chats, by the way. Sorry, we're waffling on. Hi, guys. Hi, Aslan. Hi, Fidel, Seb, Jack. There's a few more coming, I'm sure. But let's get into it because there's a small matter of a game tomorrow. I'm sure we're all getting a bit nervous now. We're getting the butterflies, but we've got the Villarreal second leg tomorrow. We haven't sort of have we caught up? We haven't caught up since the first leg, have we? Because that was last Thursday. So I mean, we could touch on that firstly. That was heart-stopping moments. Hello, Springer. How you doing, bro? So, Lee, I'm going to come to you with this first. I mean, the first leg, let's get this out of the way before we start looking at the game. Let's just dissect what happened in the first leg, because for me, I was shocked. Like, I couldn't believe how poorly we played. I couldn't believe this false number 9 he's decided to adopt, experimental in such a big game. There was a load of things we could have nitpicked at, but what were your thoughts when you looked at that screen and you saw the team sheet and the performance?
Shocking. You know, I honestly, no one see that coming, didn't they? Like, you know what I mean, as I've said, there's only one thing I want to see false, and it's not a false 9. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying on that subject. You know, like it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
To actually go about doing that before a semi-final, I can't believe that. 1, he thought about it. 2, his assistants allowed it to happen, and 3, they didn't change it because it wasn't working after 20 minutes. Listen, guys, I'll tell you that now. I'm nervous about tomorrow, but realistically, we shouldn't be nervous about tomorrow because we should be like 4 or 5-0 down and out of it, and somehow we got away with it. I don't know how. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it. Very, very lucky, but man, lucky. And it wasn't anything that he'd done. It was pure luck from his point of view that Foyth got injured. Because at that moment in time, as soon as he got injured, everything changed. We was down to 10 men. And I'll tell you what, if you'd have, when Ceballos got sent off, that was another joke decision, really. Like, as soon as he'd done it, he'd done a tackle, which to me, he could have been booked for and then subsequently sent off for. It was a warning shot. He should have been off then. Right, let's take him off. At 2-0, down to 10 men, I would have bit your hand off at 2-0. I'd have said to you, right, I'm taking that. Yeah. And I don't think it would be good enough. To come out of that game 2-1 is incredible. It's incredible. I don't know how we done it. It was more luck than anything else. And I'm going to have to say that poor managing from them, because at 2-0 down, 10 men, he never went for it. He was very, very cautious, Emery. So, and at the end of it, we've somehow got ourselves an away goal, and we're still in the tie, which we really shouldn't be, you know. And I'm very, very nervous about tomorrow because of, you know, our home form's, you know, what's it, shambolic to say the least. But you have to say that we should have been out of this competition about 3 times now, and we're still in it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Is you know, is it maybe a little bit of destiny? You know, sometimes your name's written on it. I don't know. You know, but I just think that, you know, Mikel, for whatever, it was appalling last week. The team selection. What does Martinelli have to do to get a game? I know that he played on Thursday, but you could say, on Sunday. You could actually say the only reason he's played Sunday is to give players a rest that are going to play tomorrow. Otherwise, he wouldn't get a game. I can't believe what he done the other day. You know, Smith Rowe playing as the number 9 as well was ridiculous. I could have understood it maybe if, say, Pepe was playing there, who has actually played centre forward for Lille or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
Everything was wrong about that game. But listen, guys, I'll say this now. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I really don't. Anything can happen. But I'm going to say this, that is it 7 o'clock? That's when I'm going to be at my most, nervous, because of the team selection. That will tell us all we need to know tomorrow. It really will, like, you know. I think it's so many critical decisions got to be made. I don't know, but if he manages and plays, can they play any worse than that? I don't think they can.
Don't test that. I mean, look, everyone knows how well Arsenal Lounge are doing, and Mikel's here. Look, I'm not going to go for a false 9 tomorrow. No more stupidity from me. That's what he said. Thanks for letting us know, Mikel. But yeah, you know what? I was screaming at the camera because we were all, when Ceballos got that first yellow, surely, I'm sure you were doing it too. We're going, just take him off. Just take him off and replace him. And all he had to do, and I've been a big advocate about this, Odegaard, put him in the 8, because for me, Odegaard's an 8. He's not a 10. I keep saying it. And move Smith Rowe into the 10. That's all he needed to do. And he didn't. He waited that bit longer and he got sent off. And I was like you. I thought the big thing for me was Leno's save when we were 2-0 down. Because if Leno hadn't made that save, we could have been out of it. Shaheen, I'll bring you into this, brother. I mean, I know what you were doing during the game, yeah, because I'm going to bring this up with you because I was like quite surprised. Actually, Shaheen was so nervous. I'm going to paint you in a good light here. Shaheen was so nervous that he decided he couldn't watch the game and he went to play football. And he was checking the scores from his phone, and he was. When we were losing, he was messaging me saying, "See, I told you we were going to lose," because he was nervous about it. So, in your defense, Shaheen, but have you caught up with the game since your game? Because I know,
I told, if you remember, I told you before the game, I said we'll lose 2-0. And
you did. You did
after that lineup. I agree with Lee. It's beyond belief that a manager before a semi-final would try something that he has never done in these 2 years that he's been here. One thing that I took from it was that this potentially is coming from a manager who is under no pressure whatsoever. Because if he was under pressure from the owner or the board, he would probably not have done that. He would have played it safe and he would have gone through. Another thing...
Wait. You think he did this because he feels there's going to be no repercussions, whatever happens?
Yeah. He's probably been told, listen, don't worry about the Europa League. Even if we go out, you know, you're still going to get a job or whatever. That might change, which I will come to that. That's prior to all of this Super League business, and I will come to that. Another thing that I saw and that which I didn't like, it shows to me that there is nobody around him to just tell him, mate, you know, do you want to have another think over this? You know, this is semi-final. Are you sure you want to do this? It may not work. Do you know what I mean? Like this Steve Round or somebody.
Do you know, like when one of your mates says something like that and you think to yourself, he's telling me this for a reason, because obviously he thinks I'm stupid.
Do I really? And everybody's gone with it, right? And then we've gone in. It hasn't worked. No change. Substitution late again. Ceballos, okay, he's got a yellow card. Fine, you carry on. When he made that foul and the referee, he clearly gave him a warning. One more. Right? And then after the game, Arteta is coming out with things like, oh yeah, when I saw that, I was going to make a change, but we didn't have enough time. No, you need to react to things. It's only 90 minutes. It's not a whole day. It's not cricket when you do it over 3 days. You only got 90 minutes, man. You need to react to things very, very quickly because it could backfire like this. Leno, a lot of big saves, kept us in it. And Lee said, somehow we've got an away goal, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I agree with Lee. The problem is nobody knows what team he's going to pick. He could come out with another shitty lineup, or he could, he could pick actually the right team, right? So we'll see what happens. And you know what? For me, if he loses tomorrow, he's off. It's done for him. But who am I to say?
I've seen some funny comments in here. Someone's put false manager, not false nine. That was quite funny. Oh, big shout out to John Hughes, a Celtic fan here, long time listener. Hope you're good, boys. Yep, good. Thanks for watching. Look, there was a couple of things we could discuss in that. Firstly, like the goals that we gave away, they were just ridiculous. They were just balls over a set piece, goal, header.
Lee, sorry, Lev. You know what? You
I know we're both bald, but come on.
Yeah, we don't learn, man. I don't know when these guys are going to learn. You remember, I think it was towards the end. Granit xhaka played a diagonal ball across our 18-yard box. And you remember the forward, he nearly got it. I don't know if you recall that ball. That was exactly the same ball he played against Burnley and they scored. Do you know what pass I'm talking about?
It was close. I remember.
You remember? Like, you not learn, Granit. You don't do this, man. This is semi-final. You don't play a ball like this. We got lucky. We scored a goal. Why would you? When are you gonna learn not to play this ball?
What about that first goal? They both. It was Xhaka and Ceballos. Just let the guy just run in. It was ridiculous.
Well, listen, Granit Xhaka, you can always have an argument that he's not a left back and he's just covering. At times, he will get caught out.
Yeah, but we knew he was going to get caught out eventually. We knew it. We were all saying it.
It's up to the manager to give him proper protection.
Well, look, this is another thing, Lee. Right, I'll drop this with you. Why? Okay, I know Saka's instrumental going forward, but if you're struggling for a left back, he's obviously too slow. Xhaka. He used Saka for a quarter of the season as a left back. You've got Martinelli who could play on the wing. Why not go Saka on the left and Martinelli on the wing?
Well, I said that I think that. Listen, I don't think Xhaka's done too bad. And listen, Xhaka was okay on Sunday up against some pacey players of Newcastle, but
yeah, he did all right.
Ultimately, there's a place in midfield vacating now with Ceballos not being there. So the way for me to go is you can bring Xhaka back in there. That steals it up with Xhaka and obviously Partey, and then you can get then all your midfield players in as well. Like you can get Martinelli in, you can get Pepe in, you can get Aubameyang in, and also you can get one or two players in Smith Rowe or Odegaard. Now the other way to go is to play Xhaka at left back and then play Odegaard and Smith Rowe in the middle. To give us the attacking options there. But for me, I would go with Saka for this one game. You can still be an influence as a fullback going forward and attack. So I feel that it could be the way to go. And then we get Xhaka back in the midfield. But, I would go with that if it was me. But you just know that he's just going to go with Xhaka at left back and then in midfield. That is what he's going to do. And this is the thing with Mikel. I think he's too cautious. And that's the problem with him, like, we've got to go for it tomorrow. I would really go. I felt when we went down to 10 men and we had Martinelli on the field, we looked like we was going to score more goals. It was only when it went to 10 each that things changed.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're as good as what people. I think we made them look a lot better than what they were, if I'll be honest. So we've got to really go for them.
Do you know what? That's a good point. I mean, they weren't. They're not that great a side. We should be beating this team. Like, I think this team is mentality. Every time there's a big game, we seem to flop. How many big games we've discussed this over and over again to get into that top 6 position or that top 4? We always flop. Even against the lesser teams we should be beating. I genuinely believe we've got a mental issue with this particular crop of players. Every time there's a big game, we don't deliver.
Yeah, I agree, and you can say that with the Newcastle game. Look how good we played against Newcastle because there's no pressure.
It's a nothing game. Yeah,
it's a nothing game. So you look at. There's been a few of them. We could say, but the pressure is on tomorrow, and these players have got to deliver. And not only have the players got to deliver, the manager's got to deliver as well. What he's got to do is give them the positions and the formation that's going to suit everybody. I felt on Thursday you had people not knowing what they were doing. I know you can say that's bad for a professional footballer, but sometimes you've been playing. You play a system and you know what role you have in it. Then all of a sudden, they had so much space in midfield, and we had more players in there. It's because people were thinking, well, he's going to be doing that job. Oh no, he ain't doing that. Oh, I should be doing that. It was too much confusion. He's got to go out there with a system which they're all comfortable with. And we've got to be fluent. We've got to be fluent from the first minute to the last. Now, I don't care whether we're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, or whatever the score is. We have got to keep attacking and keep going for it because we're not good enough to just sit back and defend. Like I watched Manchester City yesterday. They can sit back and defend and pick teams off. We ain't got the capabilities to do that. We haven't. Look at the second goal, even from a set piece. It was, shoddy defending all round. So we're not good enough defensively. So we've got to keep the ball. We've got to rely on our players to attack. And what I feel that we haven't done, which we don't do too often, is we've got to take our chances. And when we get chances, take them. But I'm baffled with what he done last Thursday. Baffled, and I don't know about you guys, but I've got no confidence. You don't really. Let's be honest here. We're all sick. I just want Thursday to come and go. If I'll be honest, I've had it. You know what I mean? I just want it to come and go. Whatever will be, will be. Because let's be honest, you don't really know what you're going to get from these boys. So you don't really know if you're going to. You don't know what sort of performance you're going to get tomorrow. Is it going to be a masterclass? Is it going to be the right selections?
A disaster class? Yeah. Yeah, you're right, mate.
The only thing with this team that is probably easy to predict is that if they score, it will probably be our own fault.
Well, yeah, but then again, you could say that just as easily about definitely if they score, it will be our fault, 100%. It's a good point you made there, Shaheen, because it's perfect for what I was going to say as well. Another thing that came out of it is everyone sitting there saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have sacked Emery." I looked at Emery and I saw a disaster class from him as well because he had us on the ropes. He could have finished us off. He didn't. He took off a striker and put on Coquelin.
Yeah,
right. When we were on the ropes, and he's let us off the ropes. So you can't even argue that we've let the wrong manager. Like we shouldn't have sacked the manager either. Shaheen, what do you think? I mean.
Yeah, well, listen, Emery. Emery did what Unai Emery has been doing, and it worked for us because again, it was why would you make that substitution when you're 2-0 up and so, and that let us back into the game. So we hope for another Unai Emery dodgy decision tomorrow, and as Lee said, I'm going to be playing football again tomorrow, just so you know. Right, and it will come and go. Thursday, I just wanted to come and go because it's hard to predict what's going to happen.
So it's the semi-final. It's hanging in the balance, and you're going to play football again.
Spot on.
Okay. A big shout out to Mike Axford, new subscriber. Thank you for joining, man. Welcome to the lounge. We'll come back to you guys in a bit. You know what? I'm convinced, though. I mean, we're going to go on to obviously tomorrow's game in the lineup now, but I'm starting to feel like we're destined, like Lee said, we're destined to get to this final. Because if Arsenal were going to go out, they would have gone out already, right? We've had a few, but the one thing is, it's usually the other way around. It's usually us having a bad a first leg where we should have destroyed a team, didn't, and then letting them come back into it and then struggling and just making it through. The Benfica one is a prime example. We were nearly out until Aubameyang got that last few minutes, got that goal. This is the opposite. We should have gone out in this leg. We should be out of it. We should be dead.
I hear that, Lev. But you got to consider one thing. If we get through tomorrow, where we're in the final, is 99% we're going to play Man United, and they are on extremely good form now. So again, that's going to be another one that is going to be like, is our defense going to be able to put up?
It's Cavani I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's another thing. You know, in a one-off game, I would say yes, we can probably beat them, but do I have confidence in the manager and the players or it's going to be another another final like Chelsea? Go out there and just, yeah.
Yeah, well, mate. Well, you don't know, do you? Because you're not watching it.
I will watch the final, though. Don't worry.
You talk about it. You talk a good game, but when the game comes on, you're playing another game, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather go play football myself, man.
Oh, anyway, so all right, tomorrow, yeah, it's all about tomorrow. We're in it. We've got an all-important away goal. We don't want to concede an away goal for as long as possible. But your lineup tomorrow, Lee, if you're going into that game tomorrow, you're the manager, right? You've taken off that Lego hair that Arteta's got. You've taken over now. Who are you playing tomorrow? What's your lineup?
I'm going to go with. This is a tough call because I can't either Odegaard or Smith Rowe can't get into this team.
Ooh.
So I would go Leno in goal, right back Chambers, central defence of Holding and Mari, left back xhaka. Left back Saka. Two in the middle, xhaka and Partey.
Yeah.
With Odegaard or Smith Rowe. Not too sure which one I'd go with there. Probably go with Smith Rowe. Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe would be my front four.
Well, you know what we haven't said? Who's in contention for tomorrow? Because apparently Tierney's back in training, Laka's back in training. I mean, I know he said this the week before, and they weren't even on the bench. But did you think there's any chance that these guys could be starting?
I can't see Lacazette being fit after that hamstring injury. But do you know what? I'd stick him on the bench just in case 10, 15 minutes to go and it comes to desperation. I would do. I'll put a lot of attacking options on the bench tomorrow because we might need goals. So,
well, Duncan Dubs is saying your team's definitely getting knocked out tomorrow, Lee. That's what Duncan's saying.
My team was exactly the same as Lee's team.
Listen, who are you going to play at centre? Holding wouldn't be for me, but you could actually play. You've got a choice of Chambers or Holding or Mario and bringing in Gabriel, but then you're gambling on things again.
Lee, I think what he's done, Arteta, I think he's paired them up, Luiz and Gabriel.
I'd like to know what Duncan would go with.
Yeah, well,
drop it, Duncan.
Luiz and Gabriel has been paired up, and Holding and Mari has been paired up as well because they don't play with each other. Again, it's always either these two or those two. Right?
Yeah, listen. I would if I was I would play Mari and Gabriel, but I would have played them on Sunday. But the problem that he had is that he wanted to get David Luiz fit. Now that was the thing, was David Luiz was going to probably play 60, 70, 80 minutes, and that would have been him in the side. But he's got injured, you know what I mean? So I feel that that's a real difficult one, At the end of it, listen, you could actually play Chambers in at central defence alongside Gabriel. I'd go along with that, and that means then you'd play probably Bellerin, who did okay on Sunday. I think there's so many difficult decisions to make there, and that's the way I think of it. You know, like Chambers and Gabriel. Yeah, I would go with that. But you know, you're only playing. Chambers has played 20 minutes at central defence alongside Gabriel. It's a massive call.
You've got to go with people that are used to each other.
Yeah, exactly. If he puts Chambers there and then Chambers makes a couple of mistakes and they score, Arteta is done. Everyone's going to be like, well, why would you play him on right back all the time? And now for this game, you're moving to centre. Why? And it's a valid point. So I think he needs to go with whoever that has been playing there regularly in order to avoid any, you know.
See, my team's different to you two, though. Because, all right, the central pairing, we could argue that all day long. And a lot of it depends on whether or not, say, Luiz is okay, because someone's saying he's okay to play or whatever. I probably think he's a bit short for tomorrow. So it could be I personally love the idea, and we've said it a lot of times, Gabriel and Mari. The whole situation with them both being the same foot. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think Pep's done it the other day, and it was fine. But so the centre backs could be any number depending on who's available. Fullbacks, I wouldn't play Xhaka fullback again, personally. And can you imagine Xhaka? Someone put it in the chats actually. Xhaka against Greenwood in the final. If we got to the final, I don't even want to see that. Hopefully Tierney will be back. But if Tierney's not available, I would go with Saka left back. I'd probably go with Cedric right back rather than Chambers. I don't see why we keep playing. You know, he's a fullback. He was playing well right back. I don't understand. Since that mistake he made playing left back, he's just been excluded from the team. I don't get that. He was playing out of position. So I would go Cedric, wherever the two centre backs are. It's probably going to be Holding and Mari, let's be honest. And then I would go Saka left back if we don't have anyone else to play there. And then I would go Partey, Odegaard in the 8, ESR in the 10. So I'd go a bit more about keeping that ball and we need to get goals. We need to score, right? So personally, I'd go with Partey, Odegaard 8, ESR 10.
You drop Xhaka?
Yeah, I would. I would.
Yeah,
I would. And then I would, because look, at the end of the day, if you need someone to come on to maybe solidify the game and you're winning, then bring on Xhaka rather than El Neni. Then I would go with a front three of I'd have Martinelli for sure on that left. Personally, I'd probably go with Aubameyang because Martinelli seems to be doing well with Aubameyang. People are saying don't play Aubameyang because he doesn't hold the ball up well. But if you've got people putting a ball in the box, it's a different kettle of fish with Aubameyang in there. So I would go Aubameyang middle and probably Saka and Martinelli either side. You could bring in Pepe if you want, either side, whatever. But that midfield, I would go Partey, Odegaard and ESR.
Fair enough.
No?
It's very different.
No. Listen, he's never going to leave Xhaka out, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Three other managers haven't left him out. I don't see it now.
I don't think he deserves to be dropped, by the way. No.
Yeah, I agree.
What we got? I'm sorry. Is this a Xhaka fan club? I didn't realise.
No, it's not. He's just doing all right.
I think he's done okay at left back. I'll be honest. And
even before that, Lee, Xhaka and Thomas Partey, they were doing fine.
Yeah. So I would go with that.
Well, if you're going to play him in the middle. Don't play him left back. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's me and Lee would play him in the middle. Yeah.
I listen. Just people in the chat are saying about Holding. I'm agreeing with that. You know, again, another fault of his for the corner. How many more mistakes is he gonna make? You know what I mean? Before we realise that he's not good enough. I agree with that. You know, the one thing that I would say is, you know, a midfield trio. I've said that. You know, like Partey, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe. I'd play Smith Rowe in the 8 because he can get box to box. You know, and that. But that means you're leaving out Martinelli because you're not going to have Saka's going to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like so,
he will leave out Martinelli. He's shown before.
Why can't you have them both in there? Why can't Saka play out wide and ESR playing?
Because Lev, he's already shown many times before that if someone's going to get dropped, it's Martinelli, and it's going to be that again tomorrow. He's not going to drop Saka for Martinelli. No chance.
I don't know. That's what I would do. I think Martinelli is really important. He gives us something different. He gets beyond the fullback. He's constantly calls who was it the other day? Was it Murphy? Who was it on that wing that was getting absolutely roasted by him against Newcastle? He was Martinelli was just causing constant problems. It was constantly getting him behind.
Brilliant, you know what I mean? Listen, I would play Martinelli, like, you know what I mean? I really would. And listen, because Xhaka's my friend, it doesn't mean to say that he gets in this team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I personally don't think that Mikel Arteta will drop Xhaka, and I personally don't think that he will play Martinelli. That is my personal opinion.
I'll second that. I agree.
Do you know what? I have a funny. I'm going to be positive. I have a funny feeling he's going to play.
We're not negative. You say you're positive. It's we think it would be like that.
I just think he's going to play Martinelli because I think he's looked at that Martinelli performance with Aubameyang and he's thought to himself, "Hold on," because he hasn't got
20 quid live. And he's not going to play tomorrow.
Listen, I don't.
We've got the judge as a witness.
He hasn't got his gavel, so unless he's banging that gavel.
Oh, here we go. Go on. Get in there.
all right, let's do it. 20 quid, yeah. I know goes against what he would normally do, but I think he's gonna, for the first time, I think he's gonna play him tomorrow. So £20. You've heard it here live on Arsenal Lounge.
Well, I hope you're picking up the money, Liv. I really do. I hope that you are right on this. You know what I mean?
Basically, I can buy you a half pint with it.
I would like to. I would like to participate in that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that I am with Sinead. I just cannot see him playing just because of the way Mikel does it. You know. But in saying that, there's going to be a shock somewhere. There always is with him. There is somewhere along the line. So
no one's mentioned Willian. That could happen in a false nine.
Listen, he could play Willian.
He's already done that, and
he has done that.
To be honest, the shock tomorrow might be Kieran Tierney. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm hoping it is because then we can have Saka more forward, can't we?
I hope as well, and I also hope that me and Lee are both wrong, and I will gladly hand over the 20 quid to you if Martinelli plays, because I want him to play, but I just don't see him playing him.
If Tierney's fit, it's less likely Martinelli will play because I think he'll push Saka up further up.
Yeah,
in that position. But I don't know. Do you know what? You never know. Guys, hit those likes, smash those likes, please. You know, we've got 110 in here at the moment, only 27 likes. Come on, stop freeloading. Give us a few likes. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything.
Subscribe as well.
Yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Why haven't you?
Do you know what? Can I say something? Lee, if he loses tomorrow, would that be it for you?
Yeah.
Me too. If he loses tomorrow, it's done.
It would be it for me as well. Thanks for involving me in this conversation, Sheen. You know, don't worry, it don't matter what I think. I'm just a host. I'm just a host.
No, listen, I didn't think you would agree with me, Lee. I think you would be like, well.
No. I think if he doesn't win this, he should go, but I don't think he's going to. Not unless, well, this will bring us on in a minute to another subject matter. I think if there's a takeover happens, I think they'll move him out because I think they'll want more.
You know what? I said this on a Friday show when we were doing it with the guys, right? I think this whole Super League and the takeover business, it has put Mikel Arteta in a funny situation, and I'll tell you why. Because Kronkies will be looking, if they're not selling the club, which I don't think they are, they'll be looking to get the fans on site a little bit and calm things down, right? The first thing and the easiest thing they could do is get rid of Mikel Arteta. That will bring, people will be like, they've done the right thing here, right? And then bring in a good name manager in, you know, put some money in the club and spend a bet in the transfer window. And then things will calm down. I'm not saying it will go away, but it will calm down, right? So when we were saying, when we had Fabrizio in here saying Arteta is not going anywhere, and we thought he's not, that was before all of this, right? It's a lot easier for Kronkies to get rid of Mikel Arteta and please fans than, you know.
That's a good point, Shaheen. So you're basically, what you're saying is, because of what's happened, if they decide to change the manager because he hasn't delivered, it's easier for them to do it now because of the backlash.
If he loses tomorrow, or if he goes through to final and loses to Man United, I'll tell you I think 80% of the fan base will be like, right, you know what? He's had enough time. He needs to move. And they will pull the trigger on him. Right? That will please 80% of the fans. I'm not saying they'll be like, Kronke is in now. No. But I'm saying at least they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then if then they go and bring a decent, good name manager in, again, that's what they're supposed to be doing. I'm not saying that would, that will get rid of this Kronke out movement. No, but it will calm things down for them. And then they need to spend a little bit in the summer, bring a few good players in. Again, it will calm things down a little bit more for them. People will still not want him in. People will still protest, but it will be a lot more, some people will be, yeah, but look what they've done. But look, they did this, that, you know how it is with the fan base. So I think this could not work well for Mikel Arteta, this whole Super League and this whole business. If Kroenke's wanted to sell, then Mikel Arteta is somebody else's problem.
Well, there's been a few stories. I mean, firstly, before we go beyond the game, Aubameyang's come out today and explained why he hasn't been played. Malaria. Apparently, he lost half a stone. So there you go, Shaheen. Maybe you want to get footy ready. Do you know what I mean? The malaria diet might be the one.
Look who's in the house.
Who's in the house?
My brother.
Oh,
Turkish.
Pepe, what's going on? Come on if you want. Turkish in the house, everyone. Yeah, no one should be taking their eyes off the Kroenkes. They will try and deflect as much as they can, and sacking Arteta could be one of those ways.
If there is one person out there who knows my views on Kroenkes, it's Turkish, and he knows why. So, well,
now's the time, isn't it? He's right. Listen, we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose the sort of the pace we've gathered as fans. This is what I wanted to ask. Actually, I mean, we were saying the situation with Aubameyang. He's talking in the press at the moment like he's expecting to play tomorrow. Because he's saying, he feels like we're in this situation because he hasn't got enough goals. Maybe, he's been expected to score more goals and he wants to lead tomorrow. So that sounds like he's expecting to play. But then there's a story saying Danial and his consortium have held a meeting with the Arsenal Supporters Trust. I don't know why they would meet the Arsenal Supporters Trust and what relevance that is. But this is the question I was going to ask. Yeah, I'm Turkish if you're still in here. Tomorrow, obviously, we want to keep the pressure on the board. But should we be protesting tomorrow before such a big game? Because I think I saw Turkish on a show earlier and they were saying, look, the fans are going to come and clap the team in. I don't know if that's what they're going to be there for. I personally think, if anyone's going to be outside the ground, they're going to be outside the ground because of this protesting. Should we be doing this? Because my one concern with this current crop, this squad, is they're fragile mentally enough as it is. So do you think by turning up at the ground before such a big game, we're doing any favours?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it's a good idea to protest
tomorrow. It's more about getting through tomorrow and seeing how it goes. The Mikel situation is very interesting because, listen, if a new ball come in, his chances are that he's not going to be the manager. So, he wants to... he's stuck his mast firmly to the Kronke boat, and he needs to get results to continue that to keep happening. Otherwise, the future is very bleak for him. I think that tomorrow, I don't think it's a good place to protest. But the next home league game, let's do it again. Every home league game that should be happening because. The one good thing it can do is put pressure on the Kroenkes to invest, or it puts pressure on them to sell.
I wholeheartedly agree with the Brighton game at home. We should do, but we've got people in here saying we should carry on protesting tomorrow, and I don't know. I'm a bit torn about that.
Listen, if fans want to protest tomorrow, then fine. I ain't got a problem with it, but I won't be going tomorrow.
All right. Well, I personally won't be protesting tomorrow, not because I don't agree with it. I'll be there for the next Brighton game. 100% I'll be there with bells on. I just don't see the point of it tomorrow. At least we'll know where we stand after this game as to what's happening next, as well as to how much more pressure we need to put on this board. But look, tomorrow's game, what we're expecting? Give me a result. I'll start with Lee. What are you thinking?
I think we're going to have to score 3 goals to go through. I've gone for 3-1. I can't see us keeping the clean sheet, so we're going to have to score goals. I believe tomorrow, whether it's more in with me heart more than my head. I just feel we should have been out of this competition last week. Somehow we ain't, and I think that sometimes it's like a boxer. You know what I mean? You got the chance to knock him out. You got to do it, and they didn't. And I think they'll come back and haunt them. So, and I think that Arsenal will come to it more. And the reason being, I don't think they're a great side.
I agree with you on that. Shaheen, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Can I just read a super chat from somebody just before?
Nicolas.
Thank you, Nick, for your kind donation. Kronke out, but as much as you don't like it, he will leave his wealth forever. More than
he will
Arsenal,
have his wealth forever. Yeah.
Yeah, he will have his more than Arsenal. EK will probably need help of investors to buy. Could end up buying the club with debt, which is exactly what I said a few weeks ago. That we don't know his plan and where he's getting his thing, what he wants to do with Arsenal. But I agree. I'm agreeing with Lee today. Everything that he says is my view. I think 3-1 tomorrow as well. Arsenal will win because I don't see them. I think Aubameyang will score. I don't see Arsenal keeping clean sheet. We go through, and facing Man United in the final is a different thing. So
I can't stop. For some reason, all of a sudden, I was staring at your hair, Shaheen, because it started to look like Dani Zuko from Greece.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? It's gone for that. Tell me what.
Lee, does he not deserve what I did to him last week on your watch along?
Oh yeah, that was good.
Does he not deserve that now? You see,
he was panicking. I'll tell you what, he was panicking.
Oh, let me tell you what he did. Let me tell you.
No,
don't. I told him what he did. No, it was funny. I'll share it. It happened to me, man. It's all right. It's not a big deal. So Shaheen, basically, I was winding him up about something. What was I winding you up about? I was winding you up about something.
Me not watching the game and playing football.
About you, yeah. So I was winding him up about him not watching the game, playing football. I called him a whole load of words. You know what guys are like on WhatsApp. So he sends me one back about 15 minutes later saying, "Hey, have you just done a super chat on aftv?" And I've gone, "What are you talking about?" And he's gone, "You've just done a super chat on aftv, and it's your face on it. It's Lev, blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, I haven't." He goes, "You sure it's not you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, someone's just gone on there asking Helen out for a date." Right? So I'm like, "Nah, this is bullshit." So I'm looking at it. I'm like, "Nah, man, it's not me. It's not me. It's not." So then he's got me trawling through that. I'm catching up for the AFTV, the show, the lineup show, clicking through, trying to find my name to see if I'm on there. And then I had to message Lee.
It serves you right.
Yeah, all right. Well done, mate. Well done. It's the first time you've got me. Anyway. So swiftly moving on. So apparently there's a few other things we could discuss, right? There's a few rumors. So there's a rumor going around at the moment that we've got our eye on Sarri. And then there's obviously the whole thing with Daniel Ek and the consortium meeting in private with AST, with the Arsenal Supporters Trust. And also there's this whole thing with Leno coming out and saying he's done at the end of the season, which is bizarre. Like, before such a big game to mention that. I don't know, like, what is going on? Don't you find it all a bit strange what's going on with our club right now? We let what's his name go? Martinez go. And that was last season. We've let a really good goalie go. For this guy to turn around at the end of the season and say he's leaving.
Do you know what? I would have thought that they had some sort of an agreement with Leno in place to sell Martinelli. That's what logic would
Martinez, you mean? I don't know why we. Yeah, sorry. The same as you. I want
Martinez, yes, but then because I would if I wasn't aboard, I would have thought if we sell Martinez and then next season Leno says I'm off, I don't want to be here anymore. Then what do we do? So logic would have said have an agreement with Leno or tie him up to a new contract and then sell Martinez. They haven't done that. A lot of people was against this decision of selling Martinez. I could see why. And now it seems like it's going to backfire because I don't blame Leno that he says he wants to go. But if he's got a good offer from another club in playing European football and better players, why not? And same thing would apply to people like Martinelli. And think if someone's come knocking on the door, bigger club playing European football, Martinelli is going to be thinking to himself, I can't even get a game under this manager. It doesn't matter what I do. He comes out and he says, I'm great, I'm this, training is good, I'm doing all the right things. I'm not getting a game, so why should I stick around?
Lee?
Yeah, listen, where's Leno going to go, which is bigger than Arsenal? I don't think he's that great a goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper, but he ain't world class. So for me, if that is the case, I can't see why. If they felt Leno was unsettled, you get unsettled within a year when you've played all season anyway. Why would you be unsettled? If that was the case and he was unsettled last season, the best thing to have done was sold him last season and keep Martinez. You know what I mean? But they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think it's more rumours and whatever. Sometimes maybe pushing for a bit more of a contract and all that. If he has actually said that he wants to go, then good luck to you. Off you go, off you trot. We go and get somebody else to replace him. And that's how it goes. But I think Leno. Listen, I don't think it's the right time, as you said. And with Leno, if it wasn't for him, we'd be out of the competition at this moment in time because he was the one that made the save. Well, it was a fantastic save as well. So, listen.
You could argue we'd be higher up the table if it wasn't for some of his mistakes as well, though, just as easily.
Of course. This is what I'm saying. He's not been perfect this season by a long shot, and he hasn't. So, as I say, I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. But is he world class? No. I think the standard of goalkeeping has dropped this season. Just look at other teams around him. Alisson's not been as good. Chelsea have had their issues. Manchester United have had their issues. Tottenham have had their issues with Lloris, who's been poor at times.
That's a good point. De Gea went from amazing to useless.
He's on the bench now.
Leno has had his issues as well. So all these goalkeepers have had their issues, and maybe, because I think they're concentrating on their passing rather than what they can actually do as a goalkeeper. First and foremost, it's about being a goal. I look at it. If you're a defender, what is your best attribute has got to be to defend, not pass the ball 40 yards. What's your best attribute as a midfield player is to pass the ball, be a midfield player. Up front to score goals. At the back, it's not like if you can control it and pass 30 yards. It's if you can save and things like that. I think that with Leno, I think he has concentration issues as well. I do believe that. I think that's a big trait if you want to be a top goalkeeper because obviously if you're a top goalkeeper in a top team, you're less busy, and I think that's where like Pickford has struggled when he was at Sunderland. He was being busy every five seconds. Now, there's times when you're out of the game and you've got to, let the game come to you rather than the game you trying to get involved in the game. And I think Leno is probably a little bit capable, at fault on that. But ultimately, I don't. Where would he go unless he's unsettled in London or his wife is now? I don't know. But I don't. At the end of the day, what? It's not like he's an amazing goalkeeper. That
no, I'm not concerned about that.
Where's he going to go? Barcelona, Real Madrid, no. Bayern Munich, no. So there's
Xhaka.
You could go Schalke, possibly PSG would be the only sort of club I think maybe pick him up out of the big boys. I don't see one of the big boys picking him up.
When does it become more important for the goalie to be better on the ball and not keeping the ball out of the net? I mean, there's only a lot of goalies have suffered down to this. That were good goalies once. Joe Hart, classic example. I was going to say Joe Hart. 1 minute, Joe Hart looked a world beater. There was times.
What was the other one, Lev? The guy from Chile. He played for Man City. What was his name?
Chile.
Yeah, they bring him in to replace Joe Hart.
He only had one season, didn't he?
Yeah. Fucking hell, I forgot his name. Go on, carry on. I'll tell you.
Let us know in the chats if you know. Look, Claudio Bravo.
Bravo, that's it, Claudio Bravo. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, all of a sudden, good goalies. And Joe Hart was one as well. And I remember when I was watching Man City a few years ago when they were still trying to vie to get to that top level, they were getting into Champions League. He was keeping them in the Champions League at something. And maybe that's what Lee's hit the nail on the head with, likes of Pickford as well. When a team is not as good, these goalies look better because they're being peppered constantly and they're making loads of saves, so they look great. But at top flight, like Lee said, you've got to be focused for 90 minutes. You might not have anything to do for 89 minutes with a top team and have to make a save. And that's where Leno comes a cropper. So I wouldn't be gutted to lose him. I just found the whole thing of announcing it a couple of days before such a big game a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that. And then obviously the Sarri link, is there any legs in that? Do you think that's just a bit of a rumor mill thing, or do you think that's connected to the Daniel thing?
There's a lot of rumor mill going around, but listen, I always think with these deals, they happen very, very quickly. Look at Mourinho going to Roma, bosh, done. You know what I mean? Like, no rumours and all that. Like, so sometimes it could be like an agent touting the manager as well. Like, so at this moment in time, I don't believe in that really. I'm not so sure.
Someone says that Aslan Khan suggests that Shaheen looks like Claudio Bravo. I think he's more out. Who's the other goalie we had? The Colombian. Yeah, no, not Almunia. The other one. Colombian. Espria. He looks like Espria.
I don't look like a spinner, man.
You do. You look like a spinner, man.
No, man.
Anyway,
but listen. First of all, I just want to thank everybody who's watching. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel if you're new.
If you want Kronke out, hit the likes. Whoever wants Kronke out, hit your like buttons.
I don't know, man. Listen. Mikel Arteta getting sacked is one big subject on its own, let alone who's going to replace him. I think the club needs to give some sort of indication that they're going to get rid of him for these rumors to start, because everything that has come out of that club, whether it's from, I don't know, Fabrizio Romano, whether it's from other journalists, whether it's club statements, it's all in favor of him staying and keeping his job, right? And as I said, that's before all of these Super League and the pressure on owners and so on. So, listen, I think let's see what happens tomorrow. I hope he wins, and we go through to final again. I hope that we'll win the final and we'll win the first European Cup for a while, and then afterwards they can review his position.
Do either of you see us winning if we get to the final against Man United? Because you do. You don't think it's a similar scenario in the sense of Chelsea? Chelsea qualified last time.
I think in a one-off game we can beat Man United.
Yeah, I think anything can happen in a one-off game. I agree.
Well, we know anything can happen.
We can also be embarrassed. That is also a possibility.
Man United are a good side, but they're not a side that I fear.
What I fear is our mentality in a big game, Lee. I mean,
United.
Yeah, but United they've qualified for Champions League, so the pressure's off, right? So that's
one big decision. That's one big key factor. That is a key factor. Yeah.
So they can play their natural game, and I heard Pep Guardiola talking yesterday, and I started to understand that people were saying, the stuff that Arteta's doing is he's trying to be like Pep, and I'm starting to believe they're right, because the things that Pep was saying was we need to suffer together. We suffered together. We did. These are stuff that I hear Arteta saying, and then he's tried to play a false nine the same way as Pep, right? He can't do that with this.
Yeah, but Pep Guardiola has got a squad.
Yeah, exactly.
That is capable of doing those sort of things. We don't have that. Look at you see John Stone and that Ruben Diaz guy yesterday. Warriors, man. The guys put good defending, proper defending against Neymar, not a Mickey Mouse player. Neymar putting their body on the line. I don't see Holding or Mari or Luiz.
What do you mean Holding will have Neymar in his pocket, mate?
No, I don't see any of them doing things like that. And Pep, he's been everywhere he's been backed properly by the owners. They've signed quality players, and just look at the squad that he's got at Man City and the squad that we've got. There's no chance he can try to be like Pep, but he can't do it with the squad that he's got.
Exactly. Well, he shouldn't be doing it then, should he? That's my whole point. But seeing what you guys have seen this season and seeing what you've seen of Emery, I'll put this out there as well. And you've only got the choice of one or the other. Going back in the time machine, would you have still gotten rid of Emery, or would you have kept, or would you have gone with what's happened and gone for Arteta after?
That's a difficult one, Lev, man.
I know, that's why I asked it.
Because
listen, Emery wasn't right for Arsenal. I don't care whether you think he's good or bad or whatever. He just wasn't right for Arsenal. Arteta has, I think, been disappointing. Hasn't been the right choice. so far. But if he was to win this game tomorrow and then win against Man United, we'd have to reassess, and that's how I see it. Like, you know, all it is now is on Thursday. Whether you like that or not, listen. I look at Emery like the reason that we're still in this game is because of him and his tactics. They were 2-0 up, coasting that game, and he.
That's my point. Yeah.
So for me, Emery's not the answer, and I'll be honest, Mikel, I don't think is as well after what I see last Thursday. He has a chance to redeem himself tomorrow, get us through convincingly, like Manchester United did last week, smash the living daylights out of them because they're at home, and let's see if they can do it. If they can't, then there's more questions than answers, and that's a fact.
If he wins it, if he goes on to win it, and I'll put this out to both of you again, another question. If he goes on to win it, get us in the Champions League, would you prefer Arsenal to then go out and get somebody like Asari, or somebody else, be ruthless and trust him with that money? Or would you be willing, now that the board are under a lot of pressure, I don't know if Turkish is still here, but this is a major question. The board are under a lot of pressure. It's going to go one or two ways. They're either going to stay put and try to appease the fans by giving us loads of money, or they're going to sell up and say, this is just too much headache, and someone else come in. But would you trust Arteta with, I don't know, £150 million war chest?
No, I don't trust Arteta at all at the moment with the way he's doing things.
Even if he wins it, would you prefer to
listen, if he wins it, even if he wins it, he deserves a chance of doing what he's done, because he's actually got into the Champions League, which was part of his remit. Whether it was through the league or the Europa League, it doesn't matter. Now, I look at Emery, and I'll be honest with Emery. Emery got us to a final and fifth in the league. So if you know that wasn't good enough for him to keep his job. Let's be honest, it wasn't good enough. Now, the same has to be said with Mikel Arteta. You know, he's got to go and do, the only way he can do better is to go and win the damn thing. And that's what he's going to have to do. Now, if he wins it, listen, there's a thing for saying, well, thank you very much, Mikel. You've done what you've done, but we're going to go and get someone with experience now. Yeah. Other clubs have done that. So, you know, listen, Martinez, for instance, won us the FA Cup, but then when Leno was fit, they got in, you know, bye-bye Martinez. So that could easily happen with Arteta. You know, football's ruthless. So it depends what you want, guys. You know what I mean? Like, at this moment in time, what I say is if he wins it, you know, he's got to improve in the league form. It's as simple as that. The league form's shocking. You know, we ain't going to win the Champions League next season. So the chances are we're not going to be in the Champions. We're only going to, if we get into it this season, we're only going to be in it for 1 year, unless he improves the team and our chances in the league. He can't string 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins together in any competition. That's got to change.
Shaheen, he wins it.
No,
you're giving him the money. You're giving him the money.
To answer your first question, right? I think they were both mistakes. Both Emery and Arteta, they were both mistakes.
Which doesn't say much for our board, does it?
Yeah. To answer the second question, if Mikel Arteta wins the Europa League, right, I'll still pull the trigger on him. Because you need to look at this. You need to look back on this as a season. We'll finish 10th. Is Mikel Arteta going to get us through the Champions League groups even? Right? And also, you got to go back and say, it's not really Mikel Arteta that I don't trust with the money. It's the board. It's the recruitment, which he's part of. Right? Remember. But
ultimately, doesn't he say? Ultimately, he says he wants this type of player, and he gives a list, right?
No, listen. If he wins the Europa League, you know, I'm pulling a trigger, and then it's irrelevant what he wants. I will go get a proper manager in, because I can attract a proper manager in now. We've got Champions League. We can attract good players now. Remember, we had Eduardo here last week. You remember, Lee? He said Jack Grealish only if we get Champions League football. I don't want to go out and spend all of this money, Jack Grealish, this, that, and then leave him to a manager who finished 10th. And he's only winning the Europa League, which we all agreed earlier in this stream, by luck. I don't want someone like that in charge, because the chances that it could be worse next season.
Yeah, but I guess if you give him a chance and he spends that money, the question is he has to get if he gets the right players in. If he doesn't and it doesn't work, then you're still in a better position because you got a new manager coming in with him.
This is Arsenal Football Club. It's not Tottenham. Arsenal Football Club, right? 10th in the league is not enough. Is not good enough. Finishing Europa League by luck is not good enough, right? So I'll look back on that and say, right, what has this guy done throughout the season? How many times, Lee, have you pointed out a mistake that Mikel Arteta has made over and over and over again? He hasn't learned from it, making late substitution.
Exactly. I agree. He's got
I look back on that and I'm like, this is not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, a big football club. Let's get a proper manager in. I'm not saying Sarri or someone, but a proper experienced manager who would come in and he will not make those mistakes, and hopefully we can kick on from there.
Okay, well, there you go then. So you whether he wins it or he doesn't, you still would give him. It's just that's it. Pull the trigger. Yeah,
he's off. Yeah.
A lot of people are not agreeing with you in the chat. Some people were saying,
"That's my opinion." They entitled
Shaheen. Someone's saying, "Tell Shaheen to chill out, pull him out for a bit." I don't know why they're saying that. Klapoff is Alexander Klapoff is basically he's full of ideas in here. He's come up with some good points too. Look, anything could happen, but look, the main thing is we need to win this game tomorrow, right? So come tomorrow. I haven't given a prediction. I think we're going to win tomorrow. It's going to be heart in the mouth stuff. I think Look, it's 2-1 at the moment. I reckon it'll be like Lee said. I reckon something like a 3-1 will be. Will be 3 goals up or something, and they'll score. Or it'll be 2-1, and we'll have to get the third to avoid sort of. Oh, there we go. Stormy Waterfield. It's Perry from the protest, fellas. Yes, Perry, how you doing?
Lee, that's the guy who took a picture from us.
If Arteta wins the EL, the Cronkies won't be going anywhere, and neither will Arteta. Thank you for that. Thanks for the good news, Perry. So there you go, guys. Look, tomorrow I think we're going to win. It's going to be 3-1. It's going to be heart and mouth stuff. I've got my fingers crossed. We need to win tomorrow. Lee, you playing later? You got a game tonight as well?
I'm off now.
See, Shaheen, there you go. See, Lee plays the day before a game. Yeah,
I could play tomorrow, but no, I'm not tomorrow.
No,
it's Arsenal's fault because they used to play on Wednesday in Champions League. Now they play this shitty Europa League on Thursdays.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's their fault, yeah? Yeah, because you play in that quality league of yours. So anyway, tomorrow, guys, massive game. Get behind your team. We'll be back on Friday with Friday Fan Cam. Is the Friday Fan Cam coming up, Shaheen? Yeah,
I think we've got Lee again this Friday as well, which is going to be good because we can review the game 8 o'clock. Lee, you remember that?
I don't know anything. Okay, so Friday Fan Cam, special Friday Fan Cam. So this is going to be a reflection on the game on Friday. So we'll be talking about the game, hopefully with a good performance, one we can be happy about, and looking forward to the next the final. Hopefully Box Park will be open by then, Lee, as well. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed,
guys. So come on, you Gunners. Is there anything look? Thank you to everyone in the chats. Yeah, brilliant as usual. Aslan, Superflea, K-Show, a United fan, but he's here. Alexander Klapoff, always here, bro. Big Jaffrey, Santiago, who's been causing problems in the chat. Don't think I haven't noticed. Daniel, there's a few of you. There's a Layla as well, girl. So thank you for the support. Shaheen, anything you want to finish up with, Danny Zuko?
I'm good.
No?
I'm good.
Yeah, you want to go Grease Lightning, yeah? Okay. Lee, anything you want to sign off with? Any stories about any other famous fellas?
That's it. Just hope we win tomorrow. Big game.
Big game tomorrow, guys. So listen, thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe. Yeah, come on, guys. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything. We're not asking for memberships. We're not all that sort of thing. We're just fans like you. So if you want to come on and have a chat with us and all that, subscribe, like, and follow everything we're doing, and we'll come up with some new content. Friday, we'll be back to discuss, hopefully, a great result. So I'm Lavanja. That's been my Dadash, Shaheen, my Balderdash, Lee. Then we're out of here. Thank you.